your chin is not the same after you get knocked out like 4 times, and it was actually 3 times in a row, like, and in how long was that? Like 3 years, I think.
UFC Bantamweight Rani Yahya. He takes on Cody Garbrandt in a huge matchup on October 1st. How's life today, my friend?
Life is very good. During the training camp, today I had 2 good training sessions, a sparring session, then a session working with pads. So feel good, getting ready.
This was a fight that was supposed to go down July 9th, right? You'd suffered a neck injury, and so the fight was moved to October 1st. I got to ask you, man, how's the neck feeling? How did the recovery go?
It feels much better, That's why I took the fight. Actually the fight was just postponed. Uh, uh, I had this injury in my neck, because Cody is a former champion, so I want to make sure that I will be 100% for this fight. So I feel much better. I actually feel a lot stronger. So I'm good to go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And does anything change after an injury like this in the camp? Maybe a little more careful with the neck, or maybe some strengthening things that you double up on, perhaps?
I'm taking care of. I'm doing a treatment, and like I said, it's better than before. Like I develop more strength with the treatments that I have been doing. So I feel even better. Uh, the strength on many parts of the body comes from the neck. So isometric, many to punch. I feel my punch harder. So I actually feel much better. It was good for me that I was able to postpone this fight, and October 1st I will be at my very best, be good to go.
Absolutely, man. It looks like you're ready to go, and that's why I think we should move forward, right? Let's focus on this fight because it is a big fight, right? So
That big
again, the
fight.
fight's on October 1st, about a month out. How's the training camp been going? Aside from all the next stuff, how's preparation been for a big fight like this against Cody Garbrandt?
I'm having a very good preparation. No, I received the the UFC contacted me like a couple months ago. It was in July, I think. So I've been getting ready for this fight for a long time. I started my training camp training once a day, a lot of drills, techniques, and then I started doing sparring, physical conditioning, and then now I'm doing everything. I'm doing striking, grappling, a lot of wrestling, doing sparring too, many different situations in sparring, sparring with big gloves, sparring only with MMA gloves, and it's going good. Saturday, I'm going to American Top Team. I'm gonna spend the rest of my camp there. It's gonna spend 3 weeks there training, and then I go to Vegas. So everything's going good. Everything's going nice.
Nice, man. That sounds great. And now that I've already asked you a couple questions about the training camp, I want to ask you because you said right after your last fight to Daniel Cormier, right? That many times you would have won the first 2 rounds and maybe you've given up the third and that lost you the fight, right? So you really wanted to show what you had in that third round in your last fight, and it really showed. Is that still in your mind for this fight? Or do you think that a fight against Cody Garbrandt is not going to go the distance because he always gets into, he's a guy that likes to stand and bang, right? So a lot of times it doesn't go the full 3, 5 rounds.
Yeah, I expect this fight to go to the 3 rounds, but I actually see myself finishing him in a submission. I feel that uh, I have good chances to submit him more than go all the 3 rounds with him. But I'm getting ready for the 3 rounds. Yeah, like what I said before, that many times I was winning by decision, and what I did to Cormier is that I won the first 2 rounds, and then the last round I would slow down, just to control the fight to make sure that I was gonna win. But that cost me one fight. There was one fight that was a draw because the guy Bazola ended up
Right.
getting a 10-8 round, you know, because I slowed down way too much. So now I make sure that uh, I wanna perform all the 3 rounds. I don't allow myself to just control the 3 round. I'm working to make the third round my best round. I worked for after my Barzola fight. I worked like 4 years to make the third round my best round. But now I'm distribute. I make a distribution of my energy between the 3 rounds, and I feel like I'm more consistent. The thing is that I have 40 pro bouts, man. It's 20 years in fighting MMA.
Yeah.
So the way I feel before is that I had the experience, but I didn't know how to use it. Now I'm using the experience I have. This is how I feel.
Absolutely. And when you talk about your experience on the ground, it's something that you're very credentialed, right, as a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. But when you look at Cody Garbrandt in terms of just anything, wrestling, grappling, I mean, we know he's a wrestling background, right? But there's not a lot on him in the UFC. So with a guy like that, do you sort of look to see what you can find from him in terms of scrambles? Anytime he was maybe in threat of a submission, there's very far and few in between. It's hard to find something like, because Cody usually
Yeah.
likes to keep the fight on the feet. But do you look for little things like that in his game, maybe on the ground in the wrestling, or do you just say, I'm going to do what I always do on the ground?
No, I'm gonna do my game. I'm gonna put my game. I'm gonna put my game in practice. This is my goal. But he also already showed a weakness on his chin. We all know that. So, but he also got knockout power. He got fire in his hands. We can't deny that. He knocked many people out. So, I mean, I feel ready. I feel that I can surprise him on my feet as well. Uh, he only fought one guy who was a grappler, which was
Right.
a black belt, which was Augusto Tanquinho. But Tanquinho, for me, he's a great jiu-jitsu competitor. We competed in jiu-jitsu before. I beat him before in jiu-jitsu, but I don't feel him like very good for mixed martial arts. His jiu-jitsu for mixed martial arts, because many times I watch his fight and he was striking too. I don't think he has the ability to take someone down and to scramble and bring the fight to the ground the way I do. So, to be honest, we didn't see much from Kobe. I actually saw with Rob Font. He tried to take Rob Font down a few times. Rob Font took him down one time. Uh, on the clinch, and you can see that he doesn't feel comfortable on the ground. You can say that. You can see that he's a guy who doesn't train jiu-jitsu. He's just more of a wrestler, try to scramble. And I mean, he got a good level in wrestling, but this is will not be enough to stop me, because I fought many wrestlers before. I know how to deal with guys like him.
Right. And that's why I brought up that question specifically, rather, because, he hasn't really fought many guys that wanted to take the fight to the ground like yourself. And there's not much evidence of him, in those situations in the UFC. So I thought it was interesting to pick your brain on that. And one thing I want to ask you, man, is you brought it up just now, right? And it's something that it's like a notion that's out there right now that, Cody's chin might have deteriorated a bit, right? Since he lost a championship. He's been finished a couple times now here and there. Do you agree with this notion? I mean, you just brought it up again. Do you think that his chin is not what it perhaps once was?
Yeah, definitely. Your chin is not the same after you get knocked out like 4 times. And it was actually 3 times in a row. Like, and in how long? How long was that? Like 3 years, I think. Yeah, because TJ took the belt 2017, 2018. Yeah, so I think, so his chin is not the same, so I I don't feel that he got the same confidence to strike because he's concerned about his chin. But like I said, I still respect the power that he got in his hands. He got power in his hands, and I'm going to this fight respecting that because uh, it's more secure for me, to do not think that he doesn't have any power and I'm gonna knock him out. Like, he's a former champion, so he knows something. This is the way I see. I respect that.
Yeah, man, for sure. And he is a former champion, right? So that leads me to this question. Where do you rank him? You fought a lot of guys, man. Chad Mendes, Joseph Benavidez. We can go on forever here. We could talk about that for the next hour. But you're fighting a former champion now in Cody Garbrandt. Where does he rank in terms of all the guys you've ever faced?
Yeah, I think he's the biggest name I'm gonna
Biggest name
face.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, biggest name because Mike Brown was a former champion in the WC. Who else? Chad Mendes fought for the title many times, but he didn't become a champion. Cody became a champion, so he's definitely the biggest name, and I think he got a pretty good name. Everybody knows him, so our fight will be big.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So, you beat a guy like this, a guy with a big name, right? What do you think would be next for you? Are you looking to get in there with the top 15 guy next?
Well, it's like I said, it will be cliche to say that, but
Right.
the only thing I think about is Cody now. He's the only thing. But to do not make your question like leave your question without an answer.
I appreciate
After
that.
beating a guy like Cody with a big name, there is no way back. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna be facing only tough guys, the best guys in the divisions. Okay.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And again, the reason I ask you
Presta
that is
atenção,
because
eu tô fazendo lá na sala, tem que esquentar sua comida. Dá pra ela o prato que tá lá. É, o prato que tá lá, ela esquenta. Pô, eu tô fazendo aqui, velho. Pega o prato lá e leva lá que ela esquenta lá. Sorry, was my kid here, my
oh
son.
no worries at all,
Uh-huh.
brother. I was gonna say that the reason I asked you the question is because if you look at everyone he faced before you, right? You beat a guy like that, it's only right that you start facing some of those guys too, right? Cody's faced like look at all the guys he faced before this fight.
Yeah, yeah. I actually feel that the guy I faced before, Ray Rodriguez, he had like I don't know, it was like 7 or 8 wins by knockout. So he was not a good wrestler, but he got a, a a knockout power too with knees and strikes and head kicks. And I actually did good with him on my feet. I didn't take any punch or anything. The last guy I fought, what's his name? King Hokan, a tall, good striker. You know, I think he represents those fights were good. Those were real fights, but represent for me a good training for this next fight. It was like a good sparring. It was real fights, of course, but I'm thinking I'm escalating. So I think Cody's coming in the right moment.
We just listed a lot of bantamweights, right? Mendez, Cody, you, so many others. And I always ask every bantamweight that comes on the show this question because I think it's the best division in all of MMA. Do you agree with that? Is the bantamweight division the best division in all of mixed martial arts from the experience you had in 20 plus years in the sport and everything you've seen? Is that what you think?
Right now, this
Yeah,
moment,
right now.
yeah, definitely. So many guys, man. It's so competitive now. You just see how many champions in this division, like Dominic, Cody. Dillashaw, Peter. These guys still there. They're still there. All the champions are there, but they're not champions anymore.
Right.
Now Aljamain is the champion. Cerrudo is coming back. Who else? Jose Aldo
Jose Aldo,
uh, came to the division.
Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, Chito Vera. Yeah, so I mean, there's so many guys who became champions before and got end up becoming guys. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting, this division.
Right. And with so many monsters, you have to be on your game, right? You have to be feeling at your best. And this might be a cliche question to ask you now, but do you feel like you're in the prime of your career now at 37? Because we are seeing a lot of fighters that are fighting well into their 40s and looking like they haven't taken a step back.
Look, the thing is this. It's hard to say about prime, okay? What I'm gonna say is that October 1st, I will be there in a very good shape, very well prepared, and with a great training camp behind me. Okay, that's the way I'm gonna say that. If you ask me one excellent performance I had, I can't tell you, like I mean I can tell you the good performance, but I can't tell you one fight that I was more prepared than the other. Okay, because this is the thing. Okay, the peak for the men in general, the strength peak for men is 26 years old. But when I was 26, I didn't have the experience I have now. I didn't know how to train for a fight like I do now.
The IQ, yeah.
Then a White said that the peak the for the athletes, the UFC athletes, was 28, 29 years old. You know, when I was in this age, I was feeling good, extremely good physically, but now I develop a lot more techniques. So I believe that we can reach good performance in different moments in our life. My career is long. I've been fighting for a long time, and I had different great performance in different moments. So, and I expect this fight to be the same. It was good for me that I didn't take the fight in July. I was supposed to be, because I had more time to be in a good shape and prepare. Now I feel hungry to be back in there. Like when I step there will be 11 months since my last fight, 10 months and 10 days actually. So, so I'm hungry. That's the thing.
Yeah. And in terms of competing, I kind of want to ask you this specifically because you have a lot of BJJ accolades, right? You have the ADCC Submission Wrestling World Championship that was in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. So
Correct.
you're very accomplished in the BJJ world. Would you ever compete again in a tournament, even if you're not in MMA anymore?
Once in a while, I compete in a BJJ tournament
Right.
because I want to keep the adrenaline. Nothing big. It's not my goal. It's a different sport. This
You're
is how I
definitely
see
well
it.
involved in that, though. I could see it from your Instagram. Like you're always promoting like you love jujitsu. I could tell it's like a lifestyle for you.
Yeah,
It's not even a sport.
jiu-jitsu is my life. It's my life, definitely. I'm a teacher too. I help people. Jiu-jitsu is a life-changing sport. Help so many people, make it so many people's lives better, and it's so. This is part of me, but now my focus is UFC. UFC is the biggest platform, so there's no reason to be focused on anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, without looking ahead, right? Because you said you didn't want to look ahead. You have a tough fight ahead of you. But are you looking to maybe stay active? Perhaps maybe get a fight end of this year, maybe next year, if all things go well.
I could, yes. I don't like I said. It's not that I don't want to think ahead of Cody. It's actually that I don't really care about now the future too much because I'm way too focused on Cody. I'm way too focused on October 1st. Actually, I'm focused on me. I'm focused on being my best there. So, I mean, thinking ahead is always a possibility. It is possible, yes.
Great. Yeah, and I like the mindset, man. It looks like you're definitely not looking ahead. You live in the moment and you want to focus on your opponents. I think that's very smart on your end. And as we wrap up here, I want to ask you one more question, and I do appreciate the time. You know,
Sure,
this
thank
is a big fight, right? This is a guy you're fighting with a big name, so there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on the fight. What would you say to any fans? What can they expect to see on October 1st?
a great performance by me, you know. Uh, the only expectation that I have is to have a good fight, you know. It's not up to me what Cody is gonna do, but by me, my fans can expect a great performance because I'm getting ready to be at my best.